Boss, I want to talk to you about some mistakes that you really need to avoid if you're trying to thrive and survive in this delivery business. A lot of times, if you're a new owner operator or you're an established owner operator, there are some mistakes you might be thinking, well, those mistakes are kind of little, they're not going to affect my business. But hey, listen, before you know it, those mistakes are dooming your delivery business. So in today's conversation, let me share with you five big mistakes, big ass mistakes that you need to really avoid if you are trying to thrive and survive in this industry. But before I actually get into the nitty gritty here, let me give you an overview. What are we talking about here? See, nowadays, you have a lot of opportunities in the delivery business, but with opportunities, you also have a lot of threats. Okay, so let me share with you real quick the biggest challenges based on our research. For the last 20 years, we have been actually tracking this industry, and we are seeing a lot of new challenges that are faced by delivery businesses. And it doesn't matter whether you are a sole provider, an owner operator, like you're working by you just doing your thing by yourself, or you are a fleet owner, doesn't really matter. You are faced with the same challenges. For example, you have shifting customer preferences. You have unstable market prices. Like back in the days, you have a local shipper calling you and say, listen, I want you to load I want you to haul this load from point A to point B. Nowadays, that local shipper has a constellation of options. And the funny thing is, you are even competing with Amazon. Like you're sitting home and just waiting for a local shipper to contact you, but that local shipper nowadays has the option to actually contact Amazon Flex or actually go through a Walmart to sort of ship their loads. So you have a lot of competition, and you got to constantly adhere to quality standards. Okay. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. And what I'm trying to do here today, I'm just trying to lay the foundation of today's analysis, so you are clear about what's facing you and the opportunities you can seize in this industry to make more money, boss, to make more money. Now, one thing I want to say here is that when we talk about the challenges faced by delivery businesses today, obviously you have shifting client preferences. I already said that. You have unstable market price, the people charging you like in some geographies, in some markets, the rate, like how much you're charging, is kind of going down. So RPC could be rate, it could be RPM, rate per mile, RPC, rate per contract, RPH, rate per hour. Those are going down in some markets, okay? But in other markets, they're going up. So quality standards are there. You got to manage customers' expectations all the time. And also, one thing you need to pay attention to if you are in this courier industry here, again, I don't care if you're a solopreneur or you are a multipreneur. In other words, you handle a fleet or you are by yourself. You still need to think about package handling. You have some security, so some safety issues there. You got to think about logistics also. So which means what? You need to have some apps. Nowadays, you can't really survive in this industry if you don't have route optimization software. Boss, this is really important. So what I'm trying to say once again is that I really want you to understand that when you actually are thinking, well, how come I go on load boards and everything seems to be saturated, or I'm trying to reach out to a freight dispatcher and I can't really get anybody to call me back, or I'm reaching out to a broker and nobody ain't calling my ass back. Well, it's because competition is out there, boss. You're not the only one. You're not the only player. And I really want you to want you to get this in your mind and keep it in there that you got to do something extra. First of all, you have to avoid the mistakes I'm about to talk to you into this conversation. You got to avoid those mistakes. And number two, which is really important, you have to really be in a position where you have to reposition yourself. In other words, you got to ask, maybe you might have to do something else. Let's say everybody wants to deliver to downtown. Like, let's say right now you're somewhere in the city and you want to actually haul loads and you want to deliver it to downtown. But the thing is, downtown is saturated. So you got to think about maybe doing OTR. So you probably have to leave the house more often and not come back over the weekend, because that's where there's no competition. Now, let me give you a few pro tips because I really wanted to lay the foundation here. Let me give you the 5 mistakes, not the 5 really important mistakes you need to avoid, okay, if you want to survive in this industry. And this is the topic of today's conversation. The 5 great mistakes, or not great, 5 important mistakes that doom your delivery business if you don't know how to really handle them, okay? Number 1, not having a GGR. DGR. Very, very important. Daily gross revenue. Boss, you're listening to me right now. I don't know, like, do you even have an idea of what that is? See, the whole thing here is that your daily gross revenue is so important. My point is how much you need to survive, boss. You probably, I don't know. See, the thing is, if you're living in New York versus you live in LA, you should have a different DGR. If you have the same one, you probably just you are out of you really, I'm not going to say you're out of your mind, but you are making a big mistake. So you got to have your daily gross revenue. What is it? $100? How much you need to bring back home? I'm talking about free and clear. I'm not talking about just gross revenue. I'm talking about net revenue. Obviously, the number starts with the daily gross revenue. That's true. But at some point, you need to actually move on from the daily gross revenue to say, you know what? I want to clear every day $100. That's my break even. I want to clear every day $2,000. Or I want to clear every day $200. Okay, you got to have a number. Without that number, you will not be able to survive, boss. Because what will happen here is that you'll be taking loads that are really like money losers. Okay, and when you go on load boards, a lot of folks, when they go on load boards, they just look for the opportunity. Like, yeah, okay, I need to get a load. I need to get some loads. I mean, I want to be loaded. Blah 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 blah. But before you know, you come back home, you realize, you know what? I'm just working for whatever. Like, I can't believe it. I'm just so tired, and I don't see any revenue coming. You know why? Because the economics of your business model are not working in your favor. The economics of the way you set up your courier business, your delivery business, the economics are not working in your favor. So you gotta reorient the whole thing. You gotta think about your daily gross revenue. Now, daily gross revenue is really simple to have. Okay, all you have to do, you want to list in one column your expenses, and you want to list in another column how much you need. Like, you want to list your business expenses. If you have a cargo van, how much you're spending on the cargo van, like things like fuel, maintenance. Maintenance is like monthly basis, monthly. So you want to divide it by 30 to see how much you are spending on maintenance every day. You want to think about other stuff. Like if you have software, if you have an app, whatever, like those operational expenses, your overhead is called overhead in accounting. The technical term is overhead. So you want to have your overhead, and you divide that by 30. So you have your daily gross revenue, your daily gross expenses. And on top of that, now you add your profit margin. Maybe you want to have a markup of 30% or 40%. So that's how you have your daily gross revenue. You got to have your daily gross revenue, boss. The second big ass mistake that you are making, if you are a new owner operator or even an existing owner operator, is if you don't have a budget. The whole thing here is that a lot of owner operators, again, they just think about, I just want to bring in some cash. I want to make bank, right? They just like thinking about the gross revenue. But you got to have a budget, because the budget will let you know, hey, listen, this month I can't work. Not this month I can't work. Like, I can't work on the weekends because I got to take care of my family. Or, my insurance is coming up. Like, I have to pay $300 in cargo van insurance. Or, I can't do this. Like, I need to think about my health insurance. Especially if you're an owner operator. Where are you getting your health insurance from? My question to you is, boss, talk to me. Are you even insured? You're probably sitting there on your couch and just like, hey, I don't care about that. All I care about is the cash. Really? Because right now you're kind of young, where, you're all vibrant and everything. But hey, listen, a couple of years from now, if you don't take care of yourself, what will happen here? You can't do nothing. You'll be lethargic. That's the term. All right. So the thing here is that you got to take care of little things. So when we talk about having a budget, I'm actually talking to you about thinking about your cargo van or your sprinter van, your courier business profit and loss statement. In other words, what are the cash inflows and what are the cash outflows? Let's talk about that. Let's have a conversation about your expenses. Okay, talk to me. Like, I want you to really run me through your expenses. This is really important, boss. You cannot play with this. Okay, so you want to have your budget. You want to list everything. So what will happen here is that if you do a great job by having your daily gross revenue, and you have your budget, in other words, you have a part of your expenses, what will happen here is that if you subtract your daily gross revenue, if you subtract your daily expenses from your daily gross revenue, then you have your net daily revenue. So you know exactly how much you are, like your daily net revenue. You know you're making free and clear $100. Free and clear, I'm making $200. Okay, this sort of analysis is important because you are a business owner. If you're an owner operator, you are a business person. Okay, a businessman, a business lady, whatever you want to call it. So you got to manage your own business. Nobody ain't doing it for you. The third big mistake. So first big mistake is not having a daily gross revenue. Second mistake, not having a budget. The third mistake is thinking everything will be easy. Oh boy, boy, boy. By the way, let me quickly remind you of today's conversation. The topic we're having today is what? 5 big mistakes or 5 bad mistakes that doom your delivery business if you're a new owner operator or even an experienced owner operator. See, thinking it will be easy, that's just crazy. You know, you're thinking, hey, listen, yeah, you know, I can do this by myself, whatever. More complicated than that, boss. More complicated. The first thing first, you got to ask yourself, do you want to do you need a CDL or you don't? Obviously, depending on how you position yourself, your delivery business, you don't need a CDL. Okay, a commercial driver's license, you don't need it. Unless you want to really venture into some niche, quote unquote niche sector, you want to do OTR, you want to do interstate, then you will need authority. You will need to have authority, or you drive in a vehicle that is above the the weight that authorities have set. Then you have to think about that. But nothing is easy. Okay, I'm not saying it's impossible because folks are doing it. People are making bank in this industry, but you got to prepare. So nothing's going to be. Don't believe that. Hey, listen, I just need a cargo van. You know, I need a Sprinter van. I need a box truck and whatnot. And once I have that, then I should be like, local shippers will be calling me. Don't. Sometimes before you start something, you hear a lot of promises, right? People talking to you, whatever. Hey, listen, let me tell you, those folks are razzling dazzling. They are razzling dazzling you. They razzle dazzle you. Because once you start, you will see the reality is different. Because when you start, what will happen here is that you're going to have to actually generate those leads and those deals by yourself. So when you go on load boards, don't believe because you have a subscription with that means that that load board that you will basically find loads right away. It ain't happening that way, boss. Because there are people in this industry, there are a lot of veterans in this industry, a lot of players, very experienced players. They're not even finding loads. So you think you as a new kid on the block, you're just gonna walk in this room and start sipping champagne or blah blah blah? No. So you're gonna have to develop a multi-pronged strategy, a diverse strategy, whereby you're talking to a lot of people about giving you loads. Okay, you're gonna have to talk to freight brokers, talk to dispatchers. You're gonna have to find a dispatcher. You're gonna have to think about contacting directly local shippers. You're gonna have to actually you might have to set up a website. Yeah. Because the competition is really high. You might have to set up a website to just survive and thrive. Okay, so thinking it will be easy is the third mistake you really need to actually forget about. Then the next thing I want you to really think about, boss, this is so important, neglecting your health. If you're a new owner operator or you're an existing operator, you're listening to me right now. I want you to remember one thing. This is a long-term game. This is a marathon. This ain't no sprint. Like you just Usain Bolt, you just do 100 meters or whatever, and you just I'm out of here. My ass is out of here. I bet you if you put Usain Bolt on the marathon, you will see how far he can go. It's very easy to run for 10 seconds, but trying to do it for 4 hours. I'm not trying to put anybody's performance down, but I'm just saying the mindset you need to have when you think about this game, this courier game, this delivery business game. When you think about it with a long-term perspective, this really puts everything into perspective in terms of how you go about doing things. You got to take care of your health, boss, because I want you to go back as often as possible and go back home and make love to your wife, see your children, see them to bed, tuck them into bed, and be healthy. All right. I mean, you could do OTR nights, every now and then, but hey, listen, you can't be just out of the house all the time, because that's the thing where when you start doing this, you just creating you are laying the foundation for stuff to happen in your relationship, where we have things like breakups and divorces, whatever, because you need to strike the right balance between work and life. And in the middle, at the intersection of work and life, is your health. You got to be healthy. You got to be healthy, especially if you are doing like a long haul deliveries, if you're doing OTR, if you're doing interstate, and you could be doing OTR also with a cargo van. See, the whole thing is, people, but like new owner operators, they think, listen, I'm not a truck, I'm not driving a truck, so I'm cool. I'm just driving like a lightweight van. I'm driving a Sprinter van. I'm driving a cargo van, so I really don't care. Like, I'll be fine anyway. I'm going to the gym once a quarter, once every 3 months, so I'm cool. No, boss, no. Your body will let you know. So you really want to put your physical health at a very premium here, okay? This is really important. So neglecting your health is number 4 mistake. Big decision time, boss. Big decision time. When was the last time you actually worked out? Are you in good shape, or are you like, whatever shape? When was the last time you had a checkup, a medical checkup? Are you sleeping enough every day? I'm not talking about sleeping like at like 3 hours, 4 hours, because you're chasing the dollar. You're chasing the dollar, the mighty dollar. But hey, listen, what if you're not healthy enough to enjoy it? The last mistake I want to talk about here is ignoring safety practices. See, the whole thing here is that there is a reason why there's something called safety. Everything that happens in the delivery business happens for a reason. Don't you believe that if they tell you don't do this, don't like you want to have safety equipment in your car or in your van or in your truck? There is a reason why. Okay, they're trying to protect you. They're trying to protect the clients also. Sometimes you gotta think about the client's package, but you gotta think about your own health first. So do not ignore safety practices. Never ignore those practices, okay? And especially we have seen this when it comes to new owner operators. They tend to not really important, until something happens, and then they realize, hey, listen, this was really bad. My fault, my bad. But the problem here is that when you have a huge mistake when it comes to safety, the insurance company ain't paying anything. They ain't paying shit. Honestly, if they're not paying anything, so what will happen here? Are you going to to eat the 8,000 to 10,000 that your accident created? No. So you really want to take care of a safety, very importantly, because something happens, you are going to be in a situation that you will never want to be in. Okay, because see, when we talk about the cargo van or the Sprinter van or the delivery business in general, every little accident has consequences. I'm not talking about you you having a little problem with your finger or whatever. No, when you are moving a motor vehicle and something happens, there are consequences. I'm not even talking about the loads. I'm not talking about the package you are hauling for the clients, because that's just another thing. Right now, we are worrying about the individuals. We are worried about the human part of things. So my point here is that you got to take safety very seriously, okay? And one thing, when we talk about having safety very seriously, this goes back to what I said earlier about don't neglect your health. You want to be really, really, like, if you need to have gloves, wear gloves. Okay, if you got to have some goggles, wear goggles. Okay, whatever it is that you need to have it. Okay, and if you need a GPS to let you know which parts of town you should avoid and which parts you should go to, have those. Now, let me give you a bonus here. If you have been with me so far, I wanna thank you for the loyalty. I want to thank you for the attention, and I want to give you a bonus here. And what I want to do here is that I really want to talk to you about a few other mistakes that you have to really avoid. The thing here is that when we talk about I want to go back to what I said about budget versus budget and your gross daily revenue. So your daily gross revenue, your DGR. The thing here is that you need to have software. I don't care how complicated or easy you believe, easy in quotes, easy you believe your operation is. you got to have software. And I'm not talking about you actually breaking the bank, so to speak, with software that is complicated, costly, and very convoluted. No, I'm talking about having software that really simplifies everything. You got to have that. Let me give you an example. When we talk about accounting, if you were to take QuickBooks, for example, or FreshBooks or Zoho Books, those are those accounting software tools. They have like very lightweight versions that will cost you about $20 for a one person business. So you're able to control everything through software. And this is just fantastic because you have everything, you have a paper trail. You are able to track everything. You know if you're making money or not, and you know if you should start charging more for your services or not. So do not underestimate this part of things, especially when you start. You have no idea what's happening. You have no idea what's really going to change the industry or whatever. It's really important to equip yourself with the best tools. Okay. And one thing I also need to say here is that, you want to pay attention to making sure that you are constantly checking your P&L, your profit and loss. And you want to do this every month. I mean, we know some professionals in this industry. They are checking their P&L every week. Like they want to know if they are on an ascending path or they are on a descending trajectory. Okay, so constantly trying to check their bottom line. It is what it is. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it, boss. In today's conversation, I'll just share with you a few mistakes that we think that can really doom your delivery business. And this is based on years and years and years of experience. And so I give you an overview. I give you a few pro tips. So the 5 mistakes here are not having a daily gross revenue number, not having a budget, thinking things will be easy when you start, okay, neglecting your health, and ignoring safety practices. Very important. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.